Let's turn these $1 bandanas in this amazing 4th of July tote bag. Do you want to learn how to use grommets the easy way? Also, I'm going to be using this amazing vintage machine for the whole project. We're going to learn how to use grommets without using any special tools for a perfect look. And I really love the rope handles that I also got at the dollar store. They just go great with this bag. Welcome to the Luli Prince Sewing channel. Let's get started. This is what we're gonna need for our project. The rope I also got at the dollar store. We're gonna need the grommets that there's no special tool needed, so it's super easy. We just snap it with our hands, and I will leave the link below. And our $1 bandanas, or our favorite fabric for the outside and the lining of the tote. And the last thing we need is some interfacing. We're gonna be using some feather weight for the lining and a fusible fleece for the bandanas. Because the fabric of the bandanas is so thin, I decided to use fusible fleece. But if you have a cotton or a different fabric that you chose for the main fabric of your tote, I will also use the fusible fleece because it gives it a very nice body to the finished tote. We're going to cut our interfacing 1 inch smaller, so we leave room for our seam allowance that's 1/2 inch or 1.3 centimeters. They're both fusible, so let's go ahead and cut our panels and press our interfacing to them. To start, we're gonna face the pretty sides together of our main fabric. And then I like to use a template that is 3 inches by 3 inches because it makes it easier if you're making multiple bags, and also we're going to be using it again for our lining. So let's go ahead and sew our sides and the bottom part of the bag. To box our corners, we're gonna make sure to align the seams, and then we're gonna go ahead and sew it with a 1/2 inch seam allowance or 1.3 centimeters. Now we're gonna repeat the same steps for our lining, but before doing that, I like pressing them and then at the bottom, pressing 1/2 inch inwards so it's easier for us to close the gap when we're ready for the next step. I wanted to share with you my new scissors. They have a spring action and they're super practical and very sharp, so I'm gonna leave the link in the description. Also, look at this cutie. This is an owl pincushion that I have another tutorial, super easy, and I love that you can use all the favorite scraps that you have laying around. So make sure to click the link above it if you want to watch it. For the next step, we're going to leave the lining wrong side out, but the main fabric is going to be right side out, so the pretty sides are matching together. We're gonna make sure to align everything, so we're gonna push our corners out and then align the seams as well. And then we're gonna stitch all the way around using a 1/2 inch or 1.3 centimeters seam allowance. Now let's close the gap. I use red for my top thread and blue for my bobbin, so the stitches will blend with the fabric. This is why it's important to take our time to match and align our seams, so then it looks like a continuous line. Now we're going to top stitch all the way around our bag before putting our grommets. We're going to mark the center first, and then we're going to leave an even space to the right and left, so that's 4 1/4 inches or 10.8 centimeters. And then down 1 inch or 2.6 centimeters. There are a few options that we can do to reinforce the circles before cutting them. We can stitch a wider circle, but not so wide that's going to show after we put our grommet. This takes a little bit of time because we got to rotate every other few stitches that we make, always leaving our needle down. Then to place our grommet, we're going to use the one with the raised edge on the front of the bag, and then the one with the little spikes goes in the lining side. Then we're going to press enough so they stay in place, but to finally secure them, we're going to use the palm of our hands and a little bit of pressure. I just love how neat the final look is. The other option is to do free motion sewing, and it's an easier way to do the circle, but for this you gotta make sure to lower the feed dogs down. The last option would be to just add glue, you know, the glue stick you have for fabric, and then go around the circle before placing your grommet. And our last step is to place a rope. You can go ahead and leave the ends frayed, or I just use a little bit of hot glue. I just love how this tote bag turned out. I can't believe I used 2 bandanas that they were $1. So I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial and you sew along with me. Please subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming sewing projects. Also, if you enjoyed this tutorial, please don't forget to like this video, and I look forward to seeing all the comments to see which fabric did you choose or if you actually used some bandanas. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.